Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's your boy Randy here, and I'm back with another video. So in this video, we're going to have quite a bit to discuss, especially down here in the deep south and the southeast for a severe weather event, especially starting about now across parts of Mississippi and Tennessee. But Mississippi is going to be making concern right now, and Arkansas. We can also include Louisiana for the deep south, for a potential severe weather event, starting around 6 to midnight. So the time frame is roughly between 6 p.m. Tuesday, April 28th, 2026, and midnight for any severe weather event across parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, and like Mississippi too. Now the Jackson area down there in Mississippi, can see some heavy rainfall, some strong gusty winds, probably tropical storm force winds potentially, and possibly flooding is a big concern. And then we also going to have to worry about them strong tornadoes as well as it works its way east and potentially impacting the Carolinas sometime Wednesday. I'm starting tomorrow. So this is as of 2 p.m. April 28th, 2026, which is now, well, not right now. It's currently 5:24 Eastern p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we move that forward. You kind of sees that kind of get going across parts of Arkansas. We got some light rain back towards northeastern Texas, and then eastern Oklahoma seeing some light to moderate rainfall, but at least they're not like in like the severity part of it due to all the tornadoes that they had in the past few days. This look like it's more of gonna be slightly more east of them, so hopefully Oklahoma can see a little break from this. But regardless, Arkansas and western Tennessee can see some heavy rainfall, strong thunderstorms, and possibly tornadoes. Now there is tornado watches in effect for some parts of these areas, including down there in Mississippi. It's actually that Jackson area. It might get extended further south a little bit, and maybe sometime in the wee hours of the morning, depending on how the severity of this line of storms works its way towards the east and northeast. It might get extended to like maybe that Greenville, Spartanburg area in South Carolina, maybe that Charlotte area. I'm not really sure how severe this might be as you get towards the Carolinas. The main focus now is focused on the deep south for Louisiana, Mississippi, and western Tennessee. So as you guys see up here at 8 p.m. starting tonight, we kind of see that get going across that area. And then we see in northern Mississippi. Now the GFS has like a more northern track for this just a little bit, but regardless, northern Mississippi, that Tennessee state line there. And then we also see for the Atlanta, not Atlanta, for Alabama area, we see them strong thunderstorms, potentially strong gusty winds, and the heavy rainfall working its way through in that general region right there. Have some moderate rainfall back towards Texas. But regardless, that area right there is going to be the main concern, probably your highest for seeing tornadoes. Now, we can still see tornadoes just south of that, again, around that Mississippi, Louisiana area. Maybe on that line in one of those states could be multiple. Who knows? You're going to have to see how that kind of unfolds, because we know these tornadoes has not been playing this year, especially with the EF4 that stayed on the ground in Oklahoma for at least 30 minutes. So that's starting at about 2 a.m. tonight. So the GFS has a more slower track for this on the models I saw earlier. Now, it seems like it definitely weakens by 8 a.m. April 29th going into Wednesday. It's start impacting the Atlanta area, seeing some heavy rainfall. Potentially, you could see some strong gusty winds in some spots. Hail is also possible. Mississippi and northern Louisiana still dealing with that light to moderate rainfall for the most part. That severity for over Tennessee. Mississippi and Arkansas and Louisiana is about over for that event, and then it just be like a washout by 2 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, April 29th, for the Carolinas, especially down there towards that Myrtle Beach, that Charleston, South Carolina, that Wilmington, North Carolina, Jacksonville area in North Carolina. And then potentially the Outer Banks could see some heavy rainfall, and then up here in parts of the mountains for North Carolina, could see some. And then like it lingers kind of over the Outer Banks and parts of eastern North Carolina, but that heavy, yeah, it's not like extremely heavy, but it's a good amount of rainfall falling, going by 8 p.m. tomorrow night, still falling the Outer Banks. And then we could look like we could have another round of severe weather back down towards the deep south over Louisiana, parts of Texas, and Mississippi. It looks like it has a more further south track. So you're gonna have to see how that unfolds. But regardless, it is possible. We do have that low pressure up here along the United States and Canadian border, and potentially we could see some flooding up north as well in the northeast, and New York City could see some heavy rainfall as well. It looks like that's gonna happen sometimes the 30th coming in Thursday later on this week. I don't like the severity is that intense across the deep south as this van is supposed to make its way through the deep south and then eventually the southeast and then up to the mid-Atlantic and northeast. But regardless, we could see some heavy rainfall and possibly strong thunderstorms across the deep south for areas like Louisiana, like gonna be a big threat potentially. Mississippi and Alabama works its way into Georgia and then potentially the Carolinas. Now this is kind of more of a favorable track for seeing some rainfall and some relief for that drought currently going and the wildfires in southeastern um, Georgia. Now we can need some more rain down here in Florida to help out with that drought. Been seeing some spotty showers around Miami, but nothing like too crazy. The models was picking up there in the past few days, but not gonna leave you folks out west out of the picture. But you guys are pretty dry. You guys are pretty chilling actually right now for any severe weather. So you guys aren't seeing any snow, any thunderstorms, any tornadoes, anything like that. So that's a good thing. Any flooding, it just look like the East Coast might be seeing some relief a little bit. Then look like we're gonna have some around the 30th, still around 2 p.m. We gotta watch this back in energy right here over Tennessee, Texas, to see how that unfolds. Because as we see up here towards the northeast, we still have that rain ongoing from that system that's going to unfold across the deep south, going in by tomorrow at 8 p.m. No, coming into Friday. Look like no, coming into Thursday, for that to go on for the Northeast. Now, regardless, going to right here for Texas, it's going to be quite interesting to see if this continues to get going. Could we see another severe weather outbreak across Texas and Oklahoma? It looks like that might happen going into 8 a.m. May 1st, starting Friday. I think Friday is, yeah, the Friday is the first, like right here. But regardless, it is possible of that happening going forward later on to this week. Now, the models have been hinting up for a second round of severe weather working this way, more this way, or it might have switched. I haven't seen the model runs because all the way through for today, but it might be more northeast track. But regardless, the northeast going to have to watch out for potential flooding from this system as well, especially across that New York City area. And then, yeah, we see that back end snow. Now, the GFS was holding on to this yesterday of a rain snow mix across parts of Colorado. Don't know if they're going to prompt winter storm advisories or watches up sometime tomorrow or Wednesday. I mean, well, Thursday, but it's possible. And now across Texas, we can see some severe weather. And it looked like it's trying to miss Oklahoma for the most part, just that central, southwestern part of Oklahoma. You can see some heavy rainfall, potentially a light scattered thunderstorm here and there. Gotta watch this energy of May 2nd off the coast of the Carolinas around that Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, that Wilmington area. I've seen some potential um, development right here for any strong storms. It looked like it might stay out to sea. If this keep going this way, it might push that out to sea, or it might just become a bigger problem across parts of Alabama, Georgia, or the Carolinas. It is possible. We cannot forget about that cold front that is going to impact the Northeast and bringing some light snow showers across parts of New York, where most of that snow is up there in Canada as that low pressure taps into that cold air up there and brings snow for parts of Canada. Yes, that right here along the Carolinas. Gonna have to watch that definitely by 8 a.m. Monday. The Outer Banks could see some heavy rainfall, some strong gusty winds, potentially almost tropical storm status for winds. And then we still have that back end energy right here moving this way across Louisiana, across Mississippi, across Alabama, across Georgia, including Atlanta. And then it looks like it's trying to bypass Tennessee just a little bit, but we still can see some rainfall in parts of Tennessee as well. But regardless, like the attention gonna be more focused on the Carolinas potentially if this plays out like that. The cold front is kind of moving a little too close. It's not gonna get like all the way down there like that and as this energy going through to make any snowfall across the south. If we see snow in April across the Carolinas or Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, you can clearly say the climate is really something else this year. But regardless, climate change is real. We see that, but we still seeing a washout going into by 2 p.m. with the second. Still see a washout anywhere from Alabama, definitely Georgia, that Atlanta area, that state line of Georgia and South Carolina, and basically a washout for the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Eastern North Carolina is still seeing some light to moderate rainfall here and there. That can be non-stop for the most part. Just so like that, maybe east of Raleigh, you might be seeing some rainfall. You might see some rainfall on and off across the triangle in general, including Knightdale, Cary, Apex, Raleigh, Durham, that area. attack area, but still, it's possible then that low pressure starts to get a little bit going more off of the coast of Virginia, but it likes going to stay out into the Atlantic and not impact the Northeast. Now, if it impacted the Northeast, we could see if there's any track more west, we might see interesting. Severe weather event across that area, including New York City, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania is possible. Be seeing tornadoes because tornadoes can happen up north as well. Anywhere in the United States, you can see tornadoes. You can see tornadoes in California. Probably have been a tornado in Alaska before. Who knows? Probably before I was born. I just never seen it before. But regardless, about 2 a.m. May 3rd, we start seeing some relief. You're still seeing some good amount of rainfall across northern Florida, so that can help out with those wildfires that's currently burning down there as well. But regardless, if you're getting a little too far out for this, but regardless, it's going to look like it's not going to slow down too much. We could see another severe weather outbreak coming up around the 8th for the same spots: Louisiana, Mississippi, that Jackson area, Mississippi, Alabama. Works his way and look like it weakens as he gets towards the Carolinas. And then we got to watch down here along that Gulf side of Texas. I've seen some more severe weather, strong gusty winds, hail, potentially Gulf size hail, and then we can possibly see tornado outbreak as that and look like that weekends. And then if this plays out, now this is all the way out May 10th. This is a nasty situation unfolding across all of Louisiana, making its way into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, including impacting the Atlanta area, South Carolina, and being a washout for that Fayetteville down to Wilmington, down to Jacksonville, out to New Bern, out to the Outer Banks, including Kitty Hawk and potentially King Devil Hills. We're seeing some heavy rainfall as that move out. But regardless, this right here, that's going to be some devastating stuff. And we have multiple tornadoes breaking down right there. So we're going to have to see how the GFS holds during the next few days. We can go ahead and switch to the European model. I'm sorry, there's an aircraft going over, so excuse that. I live in a military town that's like that every day, almost every night, depending on the situation at hand. But hopefully this can load. Funny how this start tripping once this aircraft start going over, maybe interfering with some stuff. There we go. Got the aircraft about going away, so maybe it was an internet issue there. But regardless, we can see as of 11. No, this is about 11. We can move this forward. It's about 6 o'clock now. We can go over 8 o'clock. This is like it has a more northerly track for April 28th today for the potential severe weather across the deep south, including Louisiana, East Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi. Don't look like it's as far south as the GFS was showing. It mainly tries to get that a little bit further north. Gonna have to see how that path go overnight into the Carolinas. Will we see any rainfall? Will it be more of a mountain event? Maybe that Charlotte area, Gastonia, maybe Greensboro could potentially happen. But that look like that's gonna be a miss coming in by 2 a.m. April 29th. We could start seeing that actually be a more northerly shift, and it looked like it might be a slower, northerly shift, and it looked like it might get into that Charlotte area in North Carolina. It definitely impacting Atlanta, so you guys in Atlanta gonna watch out for some heavy rainfall, flooding, potentially a scattered thunderstorm if this plays out by the GFS correctly. Then works its way into the mountains of North Carolina, including that Asheville. And then it makes its way into parts of the Triangle, potentially maybe that Durham area. It might work its way into Raleigh, Cary, but I don't know if this going to be that severe. Probably not, but there is a hazardous weather outlook for most of the state of North Carolina. Is under a hazardous weather outlook just because it is a potential that can happen. Now, these storms right here can still produce a tornado. It's not a significant amount of rain that North Carolina can't handle, except for the mountains. If you see this getting any stronger or anything over the next few hours by 8 a.m. tomorrow, it's really going to put the infrastructure to the test. Now, this hurricane season, depending on, we're supposed to have a below average hurricane season regardless for the Atlantic. So, some sources say. Now, regardless, it just takes one hurricane that can change your life forever. We've seen how Helene did for Western North Carolina after it impacted Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and then eventually into the mountains of North Carolina. So we have another situation like that, or even worse, and that's really going to put the infrastructure to the test up here in the mountains of North Carolina. We move that forward, we can start seeing a washout up here in parts of the northeast. Cold front pushing through out of Canada. We probably can see round 2 trying to get going around tomorrow around 2 p.m. for parts of Tennessee, Texas, and parts of Texas, Louisiana, and potentially working its way into Mississippi. Southern Mississippi, probably gonna be just north of that Biloxi area, but you might still see some rainfall, probably some scattered thunder here and there. Still dealing with a washout up here in the northeast. Not look like impacting New York City too much. It might be breezy here and there, and might be seeing some like rain shower here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty quiet. We got a rain snow mix out here. Uh, can I circle? There we go. And that general region right there. And then California, you guys seem pretty warm and pretty dry. So maybe we might see more active weather come across. We do need this band of rain to at least go more. So any severe weather that happens in this general region right here, we do need that track to go more so this way or more so further south, and then make a curve like that into Georgia and northern Florida, well, southeast Georgia and northern Florida, to help out again with those wildfires going, then eventually in the Carolinas to get rid of this severe to extreme drought, or just try to take it down significantly, because we still under a burn ban. And what, today actually made a month since North Carolina been on a burn ban, so it seems like more rain is being incorporated in the forecast. We just got to see where this track goes. We have potentially almost blizzard conditions maybe up here in Canada, as that low pressure is bringing it's tapping into that cold air, bringing heavy snow in parts of Canada. And then we just south of it and east of it, we see some rainfall, including New York City. Now it's picking up on some of that moderate, potentially heavy at times, depending on where you're at. And then we gotta see that it looks like it actually not ramps up. It kind of dies down going into the 30th at 8 p.m. Everything is like pretty quiet across the United States. We do have some spotted showers back towards Texas, Louisiana, including Jackson, Mississippi, seeing some light showers. But regardless, we have some rain snow mix here. Depending on where you're at, you see snow, you might see a mixture, you might see just straight rain. But regardless, it seems like it's trying to quiet down a little bit. Then coming up in town around this same time frame, May 1st. Seems like it's a little earlier though, if I remember correctly, for the European to compare it to the GFS. Trying to bring a severe weather outbreak for parts of Mexico and western Texas. So it is possible that can happen, and then works its way across the deep south. Maybe if it has more eastward across Louisiana, Arkansas, maybe, and then Mississippi, Alabama, maybe right into the Carolinas, or just miss us and go out into the Atlantic. Got that low pressure out here trying to form uh, over here in the Atlantic. It don't look like it's going to come eastward at all. We have that cold front still lingering across the northeast, bringing there potentially might be some light snow in these areas, but regardless, light might just be some cold rainfall. Most of that snow is up here in Canada if this plays out May 1st by 2 p.m. But regardless, we hope that do not go up into Oklahoma at all and bring more tornadoes, because regardless, yes, it was only 10 people injured, no fatalities. We did have just a few days later 2 fatalities happened in Texas, and if I'm not mistaken, one article said one of them, the person wasn't even in the path of the tornado. It was just due to strong winds, so the winds had to be roaring across parts of Texas for to have one of the fatalities being related to that. So that's just a situation we're gonna have to watch. You don't hope for severe weather for nobody at all, but Texas has been dealing with some fire danger as well. But as we move this forward, that starts going across near that Dallas, maybe Fort Worth area around this 8 p.m. May 1st, bringing some severe, strong gusty winds, golf ball size hail, but potentially tornadoes are possible. Heading into northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, potentially Mississippi. Look like that Jackson area is trying to get up on some heavier bands of rain around 11 p.m. May 1st. It seems like it starts to continue going. It is windy back towards Texas. Look like I did not mean to do that, guys. I kicked my own tripod. I am so sorry about that. But regardless, before my phone did that, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, it looks like it's gonna be windy back towards Texas, and then we could have still that strong band of storms working its way through Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and Mississippi, potentially Alabama, impacting that Atlanta area with some heavy rainfall by 2 a.m. May 2nd. Works its way into the Carolinas. It's going to be interesting for the mountains of North Carolina and that Greenville, Spartanburg area. Gonna see some strong storms. Still gonna see some strong storms go through Atlanta as well. Still stretching back into the Gulf part of the United States. But regardless, this is 11 a.m. May 2nd. And then we move this forward, we can see some strong thunderstorms. A severe weather outbreak in general for all of the Carolinas. That Charlotte area, Gastonia area could see some strong thunderstorms. Potentially tornadoes could happen across that. Then we could have A whole nother situation along that coastline of southeastern North Carolina, like in New Hanover, Brunswick County, maybe North Myrtle Beach could see up some of these winds, because it's gonna be pretty windy if you're in the path of any of these storms that potentially could come through. Now, this is gonna definitely probably help out with the drought, the severe to extreme drought that's happening across North Carolina. We see some strong thunderstorms, potentially tornado embedded, or at least enough energy for tornadoes to happen across the Wilmington area, North Carolina, Jacksonville, potentially approaching that more New Bern, Morehead City, potentially Washington, North Carolina, the Outer Banks. We're seeing heavy rainfall all the way up to that Raleigh, Durham, the Triangle in general. The entire state of North Carolina dealing with a washout, and then it just continues to across eastern North Carolina by 5 p.m. May 2nd. We saw the rain slacking up across that Raleigh Durham area, but regardless, it seems like it's just trying to ride up the coast with some heavy rainfall. Still along that coastline of North Carolina, including, let's go ahead and go into South Carolina too. That Myrtle Beach, that North Myrtle Beach, that Wilmington, North Carolina, that Jacksonville, North Carolina, that New Bern, North Carolina, Washington, that Outer Banks, including King Devil Hills. I think that's what it's called, or Kill Devil Hill. Sorry about that. And Kitty Hawk. So regardless, it's going to be an interesting pattern. Didn't like it try to quiet down a little bit. Could see another severe weather outbreak up here towards the northeast. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. 21 minutes, or just over 21 minutes. I got through a little quicker, and you guys hopefully understood me. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified each and every time your boy uploads a new video. I'll be tracking the situation across the deep south throughout the night to see if anything happens. I guarantee you a tornado is going to happen across Louisiana or Mississippi, Alabama. We cannot rule out Georgia if something sneaky happening there. Gotta watch Atlanta as well, heavy populated areas. With that being said, it's your boy Rondé, right here, out.